Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, where we dive deeper than stats, beyond highlights, and into the real heartbeat of every matchup. Tonight, we're breaking down 7 intense NBA battles that define early season momentum and identity. Before we dive deep, don't forget to like and subscribe to support our channel and share with your friends to earn together. Let's start. Two rising powers collide in Milwaukee as the Houston Rockets, sitting at 5-3, visit the Milwaukee Bucks, who enter at 6-3 in a cross-conference clash that feels much bigger than an early November game. Houston sits third in the Southwest Division, chasing San Antonio, while Milwaukee holds fourth in the East, within striking distance of Detroit and Chicago. The matchup predictor tilts narrowly toward Houston, but that edge comes with context. The Rockets' offensive rhythm meets a Bucks squad fueled by one of the league's most dominant players. This isn't just a test, it's a tone setter for how each team's early season surge stacks up against playoff-caliber competition. Houston's offense has been electric, averaging 122.9 points per game with balanced efficiency, 49% from the field, 36% from deep, and nearly 79% from the line. Alperen Sengun's versatility has been the engine, nearly averaging a double-double with 22.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. Kevin Durant remains the closer, pacing the Rockets with 24.0 points per game on 47% shooting and 88.7% at the stripe. Jabari Smith Jr. anchors the paint with a team-high 1.0 blocks per game, while Josh Okogie's 1.5 steals per night bring perimeter grit. Houston plays fast, confident, and creative, ranking among the top offenses in points and assists while maintaining ball security with just 16 turnovers per game. Milwaukee, meanwhile, thrives on its star power and size. Giannis Antetokounmpo is delivering an MVP-level start, averaging 33.4 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 6.6 assists while shooting over 50% from the floor and 83% from the line. Around him, the supporting cast provides balance. Ryan Rollins adds 13.0 points per game with energy and defense, Kyle Kuzma contributes 12.6 with spacing, and Miles Turner protects the rim with 2.0 blocks per game. The Bucks average 120.6 points, hitting 50.2% from the field, but have been streaky from three at just 26.7%. They compensate with rebounding dominance, 42.2 boards a night, and a physical interior style that forces opponents into tough, contested shots. The matchup theme is clear: Houston's pace and perimeter movement versus Milwaukee's physicality and inside-out execution. One thrives in transition and ball rotation, the other in half-court muscle and glass control. Houston's efficiency from deep could stretch Milwaukee's defense, but if the Bucks establish rebounding control early, they can dictate tempo and grind possessions down. Houston has won 3 of its last 4, beating Memphis, Dallas, and Boston with authority. Their only slip, a loss to San Antonio, exposed transition defense issues, not scoring. Milwaukee rebounded with a 126-110 win over Chicago after losses to Toronto and Sacramento. When their offense flows, they're dominant, but inconsistent perimeter defense keeps opponents in striking range. The spotlight falls on Durant and Antetokounmpo, two legends with contrasting styles. Durant thrives on precision and rhythm, mastering the mid-range and dictating tempo. Giannis attacks with raw power and speed, overwhelming defenses through sheer force. Durant's 47% shooting and 36% from 3 reflect control, while Giannis' 33.4 points on 50% shooting show dominance. It's finesse versus fury, every possession a clash of art and power. Tactically, Houston's key lies in spacing and ball speed. Sengun's playmaking out of the post could pull Milwaukee's rim. Protectors away, opening lanes for cutters and shooters. For the Bucks, the mission is to punish Houston inside, attack mismatches, crash the offensive glass, and force Durant and Smith to defend physically. Milwaukee's rebounding edge and defensive length make them dangerous in the half-court, but Houston's superior perimeter shooting and assist flow could tilt the rhythm back in their favor. Bench depth may prove decisive. Houston's second unit, featuring Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd, and Steven Adams, brings stability and spacing, while Milwaukee's reserves rely on efficiency from Bobby Portis and Cole Anthony to maintain tempo. With both teams missing key pieces, Giannis listed day-to-day, VanVleet and Finney-Smith out for Houston, execution under pressure will matter more than personnel. It's a tug-of-war between structure and speed. If Milwaukee turns it into a half-court slugfest, Giannis can take over. But if Houston's spacing holds and Durant stays in rhythm, the Rockets' offensive cohesion could overwhelm late. Expect Durant to close strong, Sengun to orchestrate efficiently, and the Rockets to make just enough stops in the fourth to secure a statement road win in Milwaukee. Prediction: Houston Rockets win, total over 226.5. In Orlando, the Boston Celtics and the Magic meet in a game that feels like a statement opportunity for both sides. The Celtics, at 4-6 and sitting fourth in the Atlantic, are fighting to climb back toward .500. The Magic, at 4-5 and fourth in the Southeast, are coming off a confidence-restoring win and now get a chance to build momentum at home. The probability leans toward Orlando, but the margin is tight enough that execution, not talent, should decide it. Boston's numbers define a team still searching for balance. They're scoring 113.0 points per game, shooting 44.7% from the field, and grabbing 42.5 rebounds, but inconsistency in shot selection and defensive rotations has held them back. Orlando brings a touch more scoring punch at 117.0 points per game, powered by physical drives, transition tempo, and more consistent ball pressure. The Magic shoot 47.8%, grab 45.1 rebounds, and show stronger late-game composure. Jaylen Brown's 28.1 points per game lead Boston, with Derek White adding 5.2 assists, while Neemias Queta quietly anchors the interior with 8.1 rebounds and 1.4 blocks. For Orlando, Franz Wagner's 22.6 points pair seamlessly with Paolo Banchero's 9.4 boards and 4.4 assists, forming a young, multi-dimensional frontcourt. Statistically, Boston wins through structure, Orlando thrives through instinct, a clash of perimeter execution versus paint control. Boston has dropped 3 of its last 5, including a 123-110 loss to this same Magic team, which exposed their transition defense. Orlando, meanwhile, has split its last 5 with key wins against Boston and Detroit, signaling growing chemistry and offensive flow. The star duel may define everything. Jaylen Brown's explosiveness versus Wagner's composure. Brown's rhythm and mid-range aggression make him nearly unguardable when in sync, while Wagner's efficiency and patience give Orlando stability. Without Jason Tatum, Boston's offense runs squarely through Brown, demanding he balance scoring bursts with smarter playmaking. The Celtics excel when spacing is clean, White orchestrating, Brown attacking, Hauser shooting, but falter when defenses switch and collapse the lane. Orlando's rebounding edge and second chance creation could dictate tempo. Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr. provide relentless interior presence, while Jalen Suggs' pressure disrupts Boston's perimeter flow. If Queta avoids early fouls and Boston's bench hits shots, they can hang around deep into the fourth. Still, Orlando's bench depth and defensive energy have been difference makers lately. They generate turnovers and turn defense into quick points. Expect a physical tone early, the Celtics pushing pace while Orlando counters through rebounding and mid-post power. As fatigue sets in, the Magic's rhythm and depth should tilt control their way. Orlando's size, chemistry, and interior control close the door late, extending Boston's road frustration. Prediction: Orlando Magic win, total over 221.5. In Philadelphia, the Detroit Pistons and the 76ers meet in a matchup that feels balanced yet revealing. Detroit sits atop the Central Division at 7-2, riding early season momentum, while Philadelphia, 5-3, has been potent but unpredictable. Both teams rank top 10 in scoring, with the edge narrowly favoring the home side. It's youth-driven pace versus veteran precision. Cade Cunningham has led Detroit's surge, averaging 25.6 points and 9.7 assists while orchestrating an offense, scoring 116.7 points per game on 47.8% shooting. The Pistons rebound with muscle, 47.9 per game, spearheaded by Jalen Duren's 11.3 boards and Isaiah Stewart's 2.1 blocks anchoring the paint. Rookie Ausar Thompson adds 20.6 points with two-way energy. The Pistons' defense is assertive, generating 6.4 blocks and 9.3 steals per game, fueling transition opportunities. Philadelphia answers with elite shot-making. Tyrese Maxey has taken full control, averaging 33.5 points and 8.5 assists on 47.8% shooting, including 38% from deep. Kelly Oubre Jr. adds 19.1 per game, while Joel Embiid in limited action contributes 18.9 points and 5.6 rebounds, providing defensive stability. The Sixers score 123.3 points per game with 26.5 assists, emphasizing ball flow and spacing. When they limit turnovers, they average 14.5, they're dangerous. When they don't, they feed opponents, fast breaks. Detroit enters hot, winning 5 straight over quality opponents. They've averaged 120 points during that stretch while holding teams under 110. Philadelphia has been inconsistent, alternating strong offensive showings with defensive lapses. The game's centerpiece is the duel between Cunningham's control and Maxey's explosiveness, both likely to surpass 25 points, both defining their team's rhythm. This matchup hinges on rebounding and turnovers. Detroit owns the boards and thrives on second-chance sequences. Philadelphia relies on perimeter shooting and spacing. Adam Bona's rim protection will be tested by Detroit's interior pressure. Bench depth leans Detroit's way, with Javonte Green and Ronald Holland bringing energy and defense, while Philadelphia depends heavily on veterans like Kyle Lowry and Andre Drummond for consistency. Expect Detroit to attack mismatches through high screens while the Sixers counter with drive and kick spacing. Ultimately, Detroit's structure feels steadier. Their rebounding and discipline give them the edge. Maxey will flash brilliance, but without Paul George and Dominic Barlow, Philadelphia's frontcourt depth is thin. Expect Detroit to control the pace, rebound dominance, and shot creation to seal a statement road win. Prediction: Detroit Pistons win, total over 227.5. Finally, in Sacramento, the Minnesota Timberwolves visit the Kings in a matchup between balance and volatility. Minnesota enters 5-4, 7th in the West, while Sacramento sits 3-6, searching for rhythm at home. Analytics lean Minnesota's way with a 63.3% win probability that reflects their balanced play on both ends. The Timberwolves average 118.8 points while allowing 115.9, led by Julius Randle's 25.9 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. He's the centerpiece, drawing double teams and creating space for Anthony Edwards' 18.9 points on 50% shooting. Rudy Gobert provides the backbone inside with 9.7 rebounds and 1.4 blocks. Minnesota's 47.6% from the field and 36% from three mark efficient, steady offense. Sacramento remains potent but inconsistent, averaging 115.1 points yet allowing 121.7. Zach LaVine leads with 25.1 points on 51% shooting. DeMar DeRozan adds 19.6 with mid-range consistency, and Domantas Sabonis anchors with 14.5 points and 14.2 rebounds. But defensive lapses and turnovers, 14 per game, have plagued them. Minnesota's 28.6 assists per game show their offensive chemistry, while Sacramento's unpredictable pace often leads to mistakes. The Wolves ride a 3-game win streak built on rhythm and defense. Sacramento has lost 3 of 4, struggling to contain opponents above 130 points per night. The individual duel between Randle and LaVine stands out, Randle's strength and control versus LaVine's explosiveness. Randle's 42.6% from deep and 88% free throws highlight his efficiency, giving Minnesota a more balanced attack. If Minnesota controls pace and forces half-court play, their defense will smother Sacramento's rhythm. Gobert's rebounding will test Sabonis' endurance, while Minnesota's guards pressure Dennis Schroeder into turnovers. The Kings must push tempo and open the floor for LaVine's scoring bursts, with Malik Monk and Drew Eubanks critical off the bench. The X factors: Anthony Edwards' two-way aggression and Sacramento's ability to hit threes under pressure. Prediction: Minnesota's structure, size, and two-way balance give them the upper hand. Expect Randle and Edwards to shine while Gobert anchors the paint. LaVine and DeRozan will make runs, but Minnesota's defense and rebounding should carry them to another victory. Timberwolves win, total over 229.5. Next, the energy inside Madison Square Garden is about to be electric as the Brooklyn Nets and New York Knicks clash in a matchup that feels like two teams living in completely different realities. The Knicks enter this Atlantic Division showdown with rhythm, confidence, and a clear sense of purpose. At 5-3, riding a three-game winning streak, they've turned the Garden into an impenetrable fortress with a flawless 5-0 home record. Across the river, the Brooklyn Nets arrive desperate, dragging a 1-8 record, last in the division, hoping for not just a win, but a reset. The contrast couldn't be sharper. One team is surging toward contention. The other is searching for stability and structure. The odds lean heavily toward the blue and orange, nearly a 93% probability, reflecting both current form and functional balance. For New York, this game represents more than just another win column entry. It's a chance to solidify their rise as a legitimate Eastern Conference threat. For Brooklyn, it's survival mode, pride, patience, and proof that progress is still possible amid early season turbulence. Statistically, the Knicks have been the far more complete team. They're putting up 118.9 points per game on 47.9% shooting, backed by 32.6 assists and 47.9 rebounds per outing. Their rhythm is unmistakable: smart shot selection, fluid ball movement, and strong spacing. They're also disciplined from the line, hitting 78.8% of their free throws, while their defense thrives with 7.8 steals and 4.4 blocks per game. Brooklyn's numbers, in contrast, tell a story of struggle. They're scoring 111.3 points but giving up 124.6, a defensive gap that perfectly encapsulates their problems. Their 44.1% shooting and 34.9% from deep are modest at best, and with just 24.4 assists per game, the offense still feels disjointed and reactive. The Knicks' success is built on clarity and control, anchored by Karl Anthony Towns, who's pulling down 12.8 rebounds per game, setting the tone inside. For Brooklyn, Michael Porter Jr. leads with 23.1 points, but his 8.0 rebounds and Nick Claxton's hustle are often not enough to offset defensive lapses. Offensively, Jalen Brunson has been the engine for New York, averaging 28.3 points and 6.1 assists while shooting 47.6% from the floor and 88.5% from the stripe. His game is pure control, methodical, efficient, and punishing. Porter Jr. brings isolation scoring to Brooklyn's offense, hitting 40.9% from the field and 37% from three, but often finds himself forced into tough looks against elite defenders like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Momentum tells the story even more vividly. The Knicks' last 5 games have showcased sharpness and confidence, high-scoring wins over Minnesota, Washington, and Chicago, along with a strong showing against Milwaukee that proved their poise under pressure. Brooklyn's last 5, meanwhile, show inconsistency: just one win over Detroit amid losses to Indiana, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Their offense flashes potential, but defensive breakdowns and turnovers consistently undo any progress. This matchup is strength versus weakness, composure versus chaos. New York's structure, balance, and rebounding advantage give them every tactical edge. Expect Brunson's orchestration and Towns' inside dominance to anchor another decisive win at home. Prediction: New York Knicks take it, and the total goes over 221.5. Shifting to the Western Conference, Oklahoma City Thunder visit the Memphis Grizzlies in a matchup defined by rhythm versus recovery. Oklahoma City enters this contest at a blazing 9-1, including a 5-1 mark on the road. They sit atop the Northwest Division, a game ahead of Denver, establishing themselves early as a powerhouse built on balance, defense, and precision. Memphis, meanwhile, sits at 4-6, fourth in the Southwest, battling inconsistency and injury issues while trying to rediscover their identity. The odds lean firmly toward Oklahoma City, with a 76.2% win projection underscoring their dominance. The Thunder's numbers are elite: 123.2 points per game on 47.5% shooting and 37.3% from beyond the arc, while holding opponents to just 109.7. That's a plus 13.5 point differential, one of the best in the league. They rebound with authority at 47.8 per game and generate 10.5 steals nightly through relentless defensive pressure. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continues to be the heartbeat of this team, averaging 33 points, 6 assists, and shooting 52.3% from the field while hitting 90.3% from the free throw line. Holmgren's 1.5 blocks per game and Hartenstein's 11.7 rebounds form a defensive wall that fuels fast breaks and second-chance scoring. Memphis averages 115.1 points but allows 119.1, and that negative differential has cost them dearly. Their 44.3% shooting and 32.4% from deep expose their inefficiency. Ja Morant remains their spark, putting up 20.1 points and 7.9 assists per game, but his 37% shooting reflects inconsistency. Jaren Jackson Jr. adds 16.1 points and 1.5 blocks, while Santi Aldama contributes 9.4 points and 6.3 rebounds. The Grizzlies must tighten their half-court sets and control rebounds to compete. Oklahoma City, however, is firing on all cylinders, winning 4 of their last 5 with an average of over 128 points per game. The key duel here is Gilgeous-Alexander versus Morant, control versus chaos. Gilgeous-Alexander's calm, surgical approach contrasts with Morant's explosive, high-risk style. Gilgeous-Alexander's efficiency, composure, and elite decision-making give Oklahoma City a clear edge. The Thunder's switchable defense and ball security, just 11 turnovers per game, make them difficult to disrupt. Memphis will need to shoot better than 38% from deep or dominate the boards to have a chance. Expect Oklahoma City's discipline, depth, and two-way balance to control the tempo from start to finish. Prediction: Oklahoma City Thunder win, and the total goes over 227.5. Finally, in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors host the Indiana Pacers at Chase Center in a matchup that pits a team searching for footing against one defending its fortress. Indiana enters at 1-8 overall and winless on the road at 0-4, while Golden State stands at 5-5 but undefeated at home, 4-0. The prediction model gives the Warriors a 73.1% chance to win, reflecting their superior structure and depth. For the Pacers, it's a test of resolve. For Golden State, it's an opportunity to re-establish rhythm and identity after recent inconsistency. Statistically, Indiana scores 111.6 points per game but gives up 120.2, a defensive gap that has doomed them early. Golden State averages 116.1 points and allows 116.7, showing balance with room for refinement. The Pacers shoot 49.6% from the field, led by Pascal Siakam's steady hand, while the Warriors hit 46.3%, leaning on volume and motion. Rebounding and passing define the gap. Indiana averages 40.8 rebounds to Golden State's 42.2, but the Warriors dish out 28.3 assists to Indiana's 23.8, demonstrating superior coordination. Siakam leads the Pacers with 25.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 5.9 assists on 50.8% shooting, carrying a depleted lineup missing key contributors. Golden State's offense revolves around Stephen Curry's 26.8 points per game on 45.4% shooting and 39% from deep, though his game-time decision status adds intrigue. Behind him, Jimmy Butler 3 provides 19.6 points, Jonathan Kuminga adds 18.1 with athleticism and defensive energy, while Draymond Green orchestrates with 6.1 assists per game. This matchup boils down to depth and control. Indiana relies heavily on Siakam, while Golden State moves the ball, creates mismatches, and uses bench depth to maintain tempo. Recent form tilts toward the Warriors. Home wins against Denver, Sacramento, and Phoenix showcased their ability to execute when focused. Indiana has dropped 3 straight and continues to struggle closing games, even when competitive early. The duel between Siakam's steady efficiency and Curry's explosive range could define the outcome. If Curry plays, Golden State's perimeter gravity will stretch Indiana's defense thin. If not, their system and depth still give them the advantage. Tactically, the Warriors' assist-to-turnover ratio of 28.3 to 6 reflects poise and precision. Their rebounding edge fuels transition play, an area where Indiana struggles. The Pacers' only path to an upset lies in controlling pace, winning the glass, and finding secondary scoring from Aaron Nesmith and Ben Shepherd. Golden State's bench, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, and Kuminga, provides the flexibility and shot creation to adapt to any flow. Expect Indiana to start with energy, but as the game progresses, Golden State's spacing, discipline, and home composure should take over. The Warriors' experience and offensive rhythm prevail. Prediction: Golden State Warriors win, and the total goes over 218.5. 7 games, 7 stories, and 1 truth. The numbers never lie when you look beyond the box score. From teams finding their stride to those still searching for identity, every performance is another chapter in a long NBA season. If you love deep analysis, tactical breakdowns, and data-driven predictions that go further than surface stats, stay tuned right here. Drop your thoughts below, let's talk hoops, and don't forget to subscribe for more expert insights and full game breakdowns, only on Beyond the Box Score.